In the history of the Earth Kingdom, power has always been synonymous with size. We see it in the massive fortress of Ba Sing Se and the mountain-moving strength of King Bumi. But the greatest earthbender to ever live wasn't a giant general or a king. It was a 12-year-old girl who most people dismissed as helpless. Toph Beifong didn't just master earthbending. She reinvented it from the ground up. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are analyzing the blind bandit herself. We're going beyond the surface-level fights to look at her seismic sense, her invention of metal bending, and how her blindness actually became her greatest combat advantage. By the end of this breakdown, we'll see why Toph isn't just a master. She's a force of nature that changed the world forever. Let's get into it. To understand Toph's power, you have to understand her teachers. Most earthbenders learn from scrolls or masters in a dojo. They treat earthbending as a physical exercise. Toph learned from the original masters, the badger moles. Because she was born blind, she didn't look at the earth as something to move. She felt it as an extension of her own body. This is what we call first principles bending. While other earthbenders use their eyes to aim, Toph uses seismic sense. By sending vibrations through the ground, she can see the world in high definition, detecting things a sighted person would never notice. She can feel the heartbeat of a liar, the shift of a pebble a mile away, and the exact moment an opponent's muscles tense before they strike. In a fight, this means Toph isn't reacting to what you do, she's reacting to what you're about to do. This passive power is what makes her nearly untouchable on solid ground. She doesn't just bend the earth, she communicates with it. For thousands of years, the world believed that metal was the ultimate weakness of an earthbender. It was refined, processed, and dead. Even Guru Puthik taught that the elements were separate. But Toph proved everyone wrong. In her most desperate moment, locked in a metal crate by Xian Fu and Master Yu, she discovered the unrefined earth within the metal. This is the single most important feat in the history of bending. Toph didn't just learn a new move, she birthed an entirely new subelement. By focusing on the microscopic pieces of earth left behind in the smelting process, she turned her prison into her weapon. This discovery tripled her power level. Suddenly, she wasn't just a threat in a forest or a desert. She was a threat in the heart of the Fire Nation's industrial war machine. We see her rip through the hull of Fire Nation airships like they're made of paper. This adaptability is what puts her in a tier of her own. She took the world's impossible and made it her signature style. Power isn't just about how hard you can hit. It's about how well you control the battlefield. Toph's combat IQ is off the charts. Think about her fight against the Dai Li in the Earth King's palace. These were the most elite benders in the world, trained in precision and stealth. But Toph turned the very floor they stood on into a liquid. She can change the density of the earth at will, turning solid stone into quicksand in a heartbeat. She also utilizes dust stepping and smoke screens to level the playing field. Since she doesn't need light to see, she often creates clouds of dust to blind her enemies, effectively dragging them into her world where she has the absolute advantage. We also see her incredible defensive capabilities, creating armor out of rock and metal that can withstand direct blasts from Fire Nation tanks. Unlike other benders who have to dodge, Toph can simply become the earth, absorbing impact and countering instantly. Her waiting and listening philosophy, which she calls neutral Jing, allows her to strike at the exact moment of her opponent's greatest vulnerability. As Toph aged, her power only became more refined. As the chief of police in Republic City, she established the Metal Bending Academy, proving that her discovery wasn't a fluke, it was a teachable science. But perhaps her most impressive form is Old Toph in the Foggy Swamp. In her later years, she became so connected to the earth that she could see across the entire world through the roots of the great banyan grove tree. This world sight is the pinnacle of earthbending. She no longer needed to be in the room to know what was happening. She was connected to the spirit of the planet itself. When we rank her against other masters like King Bumi, the debate is close. Bumi has more raw power and experience, but Toph has more innovation and precision. She is the only person to have ever challenged the traditional limits of what bending could be. She is the creator, the master, and the ultimate defender of the Earth Kingdom. Toph Beifong is the ultimate example of why you should never underestimate an opponent. She took a disability and turned it into the world's most advanced radar system. She took a limitation of her element and shattered it by inventing metal bending. She is, in her own words, the greatest earthbender in the world, and honestly, it's hard to argue with her. But what do you think? In a 1v1 at their peak, does Toph beat King Bumi? Or does the Mad King's experience give him the edge? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see more true power breakdowns, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Next time, we're looking at the blue fire prodigy herself, Azula. Have an incredible day, everyone.